This concert is called Legacy. In this program, we celebrate precisely the legacy of composers who have written music for Albany Pro Musica as part of the Composer Residence program. When you think about it, we are celebrating not only the legacy of these composers, we're also celebrating the legacy of choral music and Albany Pro Musica in this community. In this concert, we're going to highlight the music of my colleague and friend, Steve Murray. We've been privileged to have Steve in the chorus for many years as a singer. But some people don't know he's also the honorary composer in residence. In that role, we have asked from Steve so many things, in addition to many pieces we have been performing from him. We have asked from him for arrangements with orchestra or with different ensembles. We have asked him to rewrite music or to write parts. He's been working with Albany Pro Musica hand in hand with the conductor in establishing a wonderful legacy of pieces that will remain.
I not only have sung for many years and have composed for many years for the group, but unlike another situation where I wouldn't be a member and present at rehearsals, I can hear pieces or sections of pieces that I've written that may never be performed, and I can hear them fairly regularly, so that it is like a lab in that sense, and I've loved it. You know, I feel quite privileged to have had that opportunity.
I would add, it's a fun lab because,
sure.
because you rarely have the opportunity to have a composer next to you when you're working in a piece. And of course, having the composer there gives you the opportunity to explore more in depth what you really intended to do with this piece. And on occasion, we engage in friendly exchanges of ideas, where I, in a way, challenge, or not necessarily challenge, but bring a different perspective to a piece, and then I always want to hear, but really, what did you intend there? But then I end up doing something else. But I kindly ask for permission, because part of the wonder of performing new music is that the conductor has a chance to bring his own interpretation, his own vision of that piece. And then when you have the unique chance of consulting that with a composer.
With a living composer.
With a living composer. I think we both learn from the experience, don't you think?
Oh, yes, absolutely. There's no question about that. The collaboration really makes it worthwhile. The first time this relationship started to become defined, I was at a Christmas party with Jose. It was actually, I think, the first formal meeting. And I happened to mention over a glass of wine that I was a composer. And I think I heard something like, "Oh, no." And then I heard the response, "I hate working with living composers," for the very reasons that he talked about. I mean, if I was not living, he could make whatever decision he wanted about my music and could be happy with it, So this gives rise to some of the little adjustments we've had to make, and they've been great fun.
Of course, there was humor in that, but the reality is that in the end, it really is a very enjoyable experience.
Oh, yes.
Because we grow musically from the exchange.
Right. And I guess another way to reinforce that is to remind the listener that composing is a very lonely experience, lonely activity. There's no one there looking over your shoulder saying, do it this way or do that or whatever, so that the few opportunities that you have to collaborate opens that up a little bit, which is very nice.
Here is a child who clambers and scrambles.
I wanted this concert in particular to be an homage to the enormous contribution of Steve, which is why we're doing the second half of the concert completely is going to be featured in music of Steve Murray. So we went over and over about the way this program would look and the narrative and the types of pieces. In the end, we went with this final version. Steve, how would you? Yeah, the fourth
version.
The fourth version.
Yeah.
How would you describe the content of this?
Well, it's eclectic, diverse, because I guess that's who I am and how I am. If you look through my complete list of choral compositions and solo vocal ones, there's a great range of expression and diversity. Everything from obviously some jazz pieces or jazz-influenced pieces, because that's part of me also, some folk music, and a variety of pieces based upon poems that have sort of knocked my socks off when I've read them.
You also have classical and bossa nova.
Oh, yeah, sure, absolutely. A little bit of everything.
It's a little bit of everything.
I guess I would hope that the audience responses will mirror the singer's responses, because in fact, I tend to write for the performer rather than the listener, for a couple of reasons. I think the listener has his or her own responsibility to their personal reactions. They can like it, dislike it, whatever. But if I get the singers to respond with joy, sadness, laughter, then I realize I've probably done what I set out to do. And certainly the chorus is good enough, wonderful enough, that they will convey that to the whatever audience. I can count on a good response from the audience if I get a good response from the singers.
I hope you will join us for the opening concert of our season, Legacy. I know you're going to enjoy it. You're going to go home with a laugh, and you're going to be moved.